Let's see. Oh,
And
there
then
we
we have
go.
Jimmy. Jimmy's already on there.
Awesome. Yeah, let me get on the chat there real quick. All right, see who's there. All right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We are Facebook and YouTube tonight, so we'll see comments from YouTube
Ooh.
and comments from Facebook. So, yeah, I haven't gone live on YouTube in a little while, so because I've been just doing the Facebook. Um, well, everybody, welcome. For those who are joining in, before I do or get into too much, let the audience build up here, and yeah, take note of the little website that I have streaming across the screen itself. I'm going to make a brief announcement about that, but I'm going to leave that up for most of the stream. Yeah, the Down South Clothing Company. I'm going to get into that very briefly. So, if you guys have anything to promote, have that ready. I'll get to you guys. Nikki, you're probably going to be getting ready to bring your thing back, right?
Yeah, pretty soon. Yeah, we were just discussing it yesterday.
Okay, great.
Yes, I would like to promote something. This is my new Corona mask. If anybody wants one, what you do is you go on Amazon and you type in beard ski. This is called beard ski.
Beard ski.
Oh, did you collect that hair from your girlfriend's armpit?
Oh, gross. That's gross.
I'm sorry. Oh, Lord. I was going to say something else, but...
Oh, Lord. Daniel's in a weird mood tonight.
And I haven't been drinking, so... I don't know. I'm just fooling myself. Oh, I forgot. We have juveniles on the chat. Hi, Dino Black.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm drinking Coca-Cola.
Well, I got a cup of Dr. Wham, which is just like it's like Dr. Pepper. Yeah, it's like Dr. Pepper, but yeah, it's called Dr. Wham. So it's pretty good stuff.
Never
it
heard
sounds
of
like
it.
Mr. Pibb.
Well, no, it's not it's actually. Wait a minute. Wait, is this Dr. Wham or Cheer Wine? Wait a minute.
You sure you haven't been drinking, Daniel?
No, because I was shopping earlier and I was looking at Cheer Wine and I was looking at Dr. Wham and I forget what. I think this is Cheer Wine because it's got that red tint to it. So.
Well, why don't you show it?
I know. Where are you?
Your camera's not on, Daniel.
Yeah, let me turn that on. There we go. But you won't be able to see it because it's in a white styrofoam cup. So.
Oh.
Hold on, my stupid.
You are drinking.
There we go.
He's mixing it with rum. Mixing it with rum.
I do. I swear.
Yeah.
Uh-oh,
I swear I do.
I just saw a vodka bottle sitting there.
Yeah. Nah, rum goes with Dr. Wham, Bobcat. Trust me, I know.
I got Crown Royal, but I haven't touched it in a couple weeks. So
we'll bust it out.
It's a small bottle. Yeah. All right. Well, we got enough people on here. Cool. Let's see. Let me see if I can enlarge my screen here. No, that's good enough. All right. Glad we got people on here. If you guys are just jumping on here, feel free to share this around. And then yeah, definitely share. I have this shared in several areas, several different groups. But keep in mind, yeah, we are live on YouTube, and we're also live on Facebook as well. So we're streaming on two different places, two different formats or networks, whatever how you want to put it. Also, one other thing I want to point out, since we got an audience now, we have noticed the live the stream, the broadcast on the bottom of the screen here. Down South Clothing Company. One thing about them, they are a company that are planning to be in Virginia, for the conference, and we fingers crossed. Hopefully, everything still continues to go through on that. I'm not going to share nothing right now because we don't know what's going to happen for the future. A lot of people have already postponed things, but we're watching very closely. But back to the Down South Clothing Company. they have a website, as you see on the bottom here, downsouthclothingcompany.com. When you go to the website, use the keyword in all caps, Virginia presale, for a 10% savings. So under their Gone Squatching collection. So I definitely want to make sure that gets put out there. Again, use the Virginia presale, all in caps, Virginia presale, to get your 10% discount under their Gone Squatching collection. So, and if you have any questions regarding the website should speak for itself. But for those who might know, Kyle Brown, the company's based out of South Carolina. So, and actually, Westminster, South Carolina, to be exact. I believe it's in that general area. So
That's
so definitely check that out. Yeah, they have everything spelled out, but
I got a question.
Okay.
Are you trying to get your beard like mine?
No, I just letting it start to grow back because I'm too lazy to shave.
What was the code again? Virginia what?
It's all VA pre-sale. Yeah, it's all one word.
Oh.
Yeah.
VA pre-sale.
Yeah. And actually, let me see if I can. I'm wearing one of the t-shirts right here. That's their logo right there.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you guys, but yeah, it says Down South Clothing Company. It's cool. You got 3 bullets right there, established, and I can't see the year on it. But let me see if I can spin around. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but it's got I don't know if you guys can see that or not.
Oh yeah.
But,
yeah, you can see it.
Yeah. But yeah, you check out their website, and they have different styles and everything on there. So definitely go check that out. All right. All right, hold on one second here. I swear I need. Oh, here we go. I need to enlarge. No wonder why it's small. My screen's not at 100%. Much better. It was only at 80%. I was wondering why the words on the comments and chats were small. So, but right now we have a good audience going on. Yeah, a couple things we'll get into talking tonight about. I want to really get into kind of what we haven't done in a while. Talk about what's going on in the Bigfoot community. Talk about different issues, things that are very commonly known. That's what a lot of us seem to have issues with. Which, for example, pictures. I'm sure we'll get into that too. But let's get right into it. First of all, I do believe I'm going to go ahead. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's back up a little bit. While we're promoting things, I want to get it out there early too, and then we'll do it again before we close out. But Nikki, I was wondering if you want to talk about your weekly podcast that you're bringing back.
Well, my sister and I had started a podcast called Sister Side Chat, and we were having this chat every Sunday night. And it's great. We started to get a few followers, and then we kind of fell off when this whole Corona thing happened, and I had to work a lot, and well, things happened, and so we haven't done like the last 3 weeks probably. We did a spur of the moment one. Yeah, it was about 3 weeks ago. So we're gonna be bringing that back and start talking about the paranormal again. We talk about anything, though. It's not just paranormal or Bigfoot, cryptids. It can be anything. It can be about our lives, what's going on right now. A lot of the talk right now is because of the coronavirus and, how your day goes and having to be quarantined at the house and all of that mess. But we do get into some really good topics when we bring on Paranormal Chaos, who is Jimmy Blanton and Marcella Chadwick. We've had some really excellent talks about paranormal stuff there, and we're hoping to get more into stuff like tarot card and alternative style stuff, So we're gonna start doing that here real soon. Now I have to work
Nice.
again. We were going to start up again Sunday, but now I have to work again. So
Oh my.
we'll see if I have to push that back again, but I might not have to. So we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, because you work. Well, it depends on your hours too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it depends. I'm going to be working the morning shifts this weekend, but I don't know. After a shift, I really don't want to do anything.
Well, that's kind of how I feel a lot in most cases. Like today, I was supposed to do an interview at 7:00 today, and I was like, I just got home. It was almost 4, just about close to 4:00 when I got home, and I was like, oh man, I'm not really feeling up to that right now. So I messaged the guy. So is it okay if we do this another time? Because it was it was an interview. It wasn't going to be a live one anyway. It was pre-recorded. So
yeah.
He was totally cool about it. But
well, we're gonna get it back together and start doing that again because it's a lot of fun. We just need to find the right time, and I have to start promoting it more. If I can get the right people, because I don't want to go to all the Bigfoot sites I'm on just to promote that because it really has nothing to do with just specifically Bigfoot. So a lot of groups don't want that. They don't want you doing that. And I don't want to be put in Facebook jail for posting everywhere. I learned from Daniel not to do that.
Yeah,
so
that's what happens.
Yeah, so we'll get it going and start talking about the spirits and we like to talk about angels and stuff like that. And I mean, nobody's right, nobody's wrong. You could just, we like to have the chat going, and we like to go from there. So
right.
Yeah,
you see what Lupe said?
No. Hola, amigos. What? Oh, Nikki, have them spirits alone, girl.
Yeah.
Leave them spirits. No. They don't leave me alone. I'll try to leave them alone.
I was just talking about ghosts earlier because I live in Cleveland, Ohio. I live right by, I don't know if you guys have heard of it. I live by the Franklin Castle. The Franklin Castle has been talked about through every state.
Yeah, that's my kind of spirit.
We have a castle here. It's about like 2 miles away from me, and it's the most haunted castle in the whole state of Ohio.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Franklin Castle. Yep. I'll have to look that up. I'm going to write it down.
Yeah, Franklin Castle, Cleveland, Ohio. Look it up. A lot of history. It was built in the 1800s.
Huh.
And they actually, they had it was owned, get this, it was owned 4 or 5 times since then. Now, here's the weird thing. The owner who owns it now, he is the ex-husband of Judy Garland, who played in Wizard of Oz.
Oh, wow.
What? Huh.
Yep. And a family in the 1800s paid a Catholic priest to come in there to do an exorcism and cleaning of the house. He left. He said he couldn't finish it.
Wow.
That's how much stuff that's, how much paranormal.
I want to watch the Skinwalker Ranch. I saw that, but I'm going to have to find it now to go back and watch all of it because it's a series, right? Or was it just one program? I don't know.
Yeah, that I honestly don't know. Yeah, because Boots on the Ground with Barb said, she said that
Barb. Sorry.
Yeah, she said that she said it's pretty interesting. And then Dinobot he says, oh, I love the stories behind Skinwalker Ranch. Oh, okay. It is a series, and it's on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's what Barb just said. Barb said it's on YouTube. So I love it when you could get well, okay, if it's a series on YouTube, it may involve a small paid prescription. Then again, Yeah, because anytime you have a series on YouTube, it's you got to have a prescription
History Channel.
a subscription. Excuse me. But yeah, the History Channel app for the movie, the shows and documentaries that come on History Channel. Yeah, you could get the app. Yeah, you can get the app, but then your first 1 or 2 episodes might be available, but then the rest you got to pay for the rest of it. You got to pay for each one, or you just get the subscription, of course. So
I swear, I want to say I saw it on like Hulu or Amazon Prime. One of those. I think I saw it on there too, but I'm not sure. I know because we've been like, now that you're stuck at home, we've been watching movies like crazy. And
yeah, oh yeah.
I think I saw it somewhere.
Yeah, Robert said it's on the History Channel Tuesday nights at 10 p.m. So
I'm already asleep.
History Channel. So it's a full production.
Yeah, that's for the Skinwalker rant. Wait a minute, which one? We're talking about 2 different ones here, right? Wait a minute, because Barb mentioned about the YouTube channel series, and then it's also shown here. Okay, I guess whatever works.
Oh, see, Connie says you can find it on Prime. That's probably where I saw it.
Yeah, it sounds like something that would be on Prime. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I definitely
Prime. How much is Prime?
I have no idea. My husband does all that.
You can get it. It's I believe it's like $13 or $14 a month.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
We've been with
interesting
DirecTV for so long that they keep offering us different stuff for free to stay with them.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's one of those, or like we have Disney Channel for free for a year.
Oh wow!
And then because we've got them all, and then I've got the Fire Stick in my bedroom, so that has it on there too. But I don't know.
Barb said Prime is $100 a year. That's not bad at all.
I don't think I pay that much.
I don't think,
but I don't know
if you divide that by yeah, but yeah, that's around.
Daniel?
Sounds about $12 a month.
Yeah,
Daniel.
Yeah,
I just checked on it for you. It's $12.99, but the cool thing is you get to watch things using it, and if you use Amazon, you get same day delivery, 1 day delivery, or 2 day delivery.
Oh, that's what it is. We have Amazon Prime deliveries thing. We do pay for that, so that's why we get it. That's what it is.
It helps with the delivery.
Yeah.
But like, even if you have the Amazon Prime and half the stuff that you want to watch on Amazon Prime still costs money. It might be at a lower discount, so something that's $6 might cost $3 or roughly in that area. But it's like the free content on Amazon Prime is lame, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Before we go on to get into more about Bigfoot, I'm going to share this. Arnold Killen's talking about this is something you'd be interested in, Nikki. Arnold Killen said, "Our shop is haunted. We've seen shadow figures, heard whistles, knocks, voices, footsteps, etc. We have 2 new employees. They were skeptics, and now they are believers." Huh.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
I have to say, I wasn't a skeptic. I believed in paranormal, being the spirits and ghosts and stuff, because I had some incidents when I was growing up and stuff. But until my house here, that's when it made me a real believer. But
okay,
all of that is like very interesting. Where was he? Where?
Arnold Killen. I think he's. Hold on. I want to say he's in Virginia. I could be wrong. Hold on.
And I wanted to add something real quick to your viewers here. For those that want to look into the paranormal, like I said, I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. So Search Franklin Castle in Ohio. It's the most haunted. Also, the Mansfield Prison in Ohio, spelled with the M as in mother. Mansfield Reformatory Prison is one of the most haunted prisons too.
Huh. Okay, yeah, Arnold Killing's in West Virginia. So, yeah, for some reason I thought it was here in Virginia, but it's West Virginia. So, yeah, in Facebook it shows he lives in Harts, West Virginia. So,
As far as that goes, I say, my advice is don't chase ghosts. Just don't do it. You're inviting bad things into your life. I don't know what that's all about. I don't even know if it's real. But in my opinion, just don't even go there. Like to the people watching right now, it's nothing sexy and fun to explore. It'll just lead to bad problems in your life. If you go looking for those things, they might come to you, and we don't know what that's all about. And I just say leave it alone. Is my opinion as far as that ghostly kind of paranormal stuff goes. As far as Bigfoot goes, in my mind, a species is a good place to start. The minute I find out they're more than a species, I'm done. I'm out. I won't be on these podcasts. I'm just done with the topic. Don't chase bad things, man, because bad things will come to you. That's my opinion.
Well, that's interesting. I'm going to make a side note of that, and I'm going to get back with you on that when we get into our Bigfoot discussions.
In the case of me and my sister, they've found us that we didn't never find them. We never went searching for them. We never went looking for them. My sister is on a whole different level than I am because I have a blocked third eye. So I'm very limited, but my sister is not. She had some trauma, whatever, which she's open to, and now she can do some amazing things that she's proven to me. She can do some pretty amazing things with spirit wise. But we go into that on our chats sometimes. She doesn't like to go too much into it right now because she's been dealing with this for the last 5 years. And in the beginning, it was very scary for our whole family because she thought she was going crazy. And it took a lot of time for her to realize what was happening to her. But many people say that this is the time of awakening. I don't know if you've heard that many of our children already have the gift to see spirit, to feel spirit. And it's going to be something that's going to be coming around in the future. But I was not a believer in that. So it's taken me a long time to be where I'm at right now. And I don't believe the paranormal is with Bigfoot. My sister does, though.
Well, a lot. That's interesting because I know we've had different conversations and discussions with that here and there, bits and pieces.
Right.
But a lot of people like to associate Bigfoot in the paranormal field, but not when the ghost and spirit sense of things. But
like the old orb thing that people are constantly saying there's orbs when there's Bigfoot around.
Right.
They're constantly saying that. Okay, well, why do the footsteps just freaking pick up and disappear? You have a perfect trackway and then they're gone. Why?
Yeah.
Exactly. What the whole disappearing act that they're supposed to be doing, cloaking or whatever they do.
I know why.
Why?
The aliens come and get them and then beam them back up.
Well, see, there you go. There's part of the paranormal.
Yep.
So basically, Star Trek was based off of that phenomenon. I mean,
yeah. Beam me up, Scotty. Yep, exactly.
Yep.
One of my favorite alien movies. It's an old movie, but it was fire in the sky. That was always
Oh,
kind of
well, that was in Sholo,
Oh, that's my favorite.
Arizona. That's where I grew up near that area. Well, in Flagstaff,
Yeah.
but we had relatives in that area, and we would go camping not far from where that actually took place. That's actually the
Wow.
spot where I didn't see it. A friend of ours saw a troll. I was there with them, but they were ahead of me on the trail, and it was dark. And when they came running back, the description he gave was of like a pudgewudgie, like a small troll-like figure. And at the time, never in my mind did it cross my mind to say that it was a Bigfoot or a small Bigfoot, because it was not bigger than 5 feet. But
Right.
his description of the face seemed like, that movie Trolls. That's how he described
Yeah.
the face.
Oh, yeah.
And they left that night. But
Well, that's interesting because it's not commonly reported, but then again, I've heard quite a few different stories where people have reported seeing small figures or I don't even know how to describe them. Like small people type, or they refer like they could be like a dwarf type, or as you call them, a troll, or I'm trying to think of the other words, like a small short hobbit or something,
because that was my first instinct, was to call it a troll. It wasn't until way later that somebody told me that it sounded like a pudgewudgie, and then I started looking into that. But only that one time had that ever happened out there on that mountain, though. But there are sightings in that area of Bigfoot all the time.
Right.
So I didn't know it at the time because I wasn't into Bigfoot back then. I mean, I always loved the subject forever, but I didn't go looking for them or care to look for them. We were just campers, That's what our family did all the time. We went camping all the time. So that was just a normal thing.
Hey, here's a question. For those who do believe in the pudgewudgie and little creatures like that, do you think it's possible that there could be little gremlins, like for real, like little gremlins out in the woods?
Probably not.
Well, it's just you never really hear. I never heard of anyone speaking or describing any such thing. It's like let's think of a cryptid. Well, first of all, Dogman. I don't. This is very unlike me because I don't usually bring up Dogman unless I'm trying to make a point or something. But in this case, first of all, is Dogman a cryptid? I mean, I don't see how that's considered cryptid because there's nothing that dates back to what that could have been years ago.
Well, there is, because all the stories come from that New Orleans, Mississippi area and the bog and the swamps, and the history came from where it was brought over through the ancestry of the old French, and that it's kind of like on the lines of a werewolf. That these dogmen came about because they were the seventh son of a seventh son type of big deal. I don't know if that's actually that one, but you know what I mean? It had some kind of ancestry behind it.
But that's still not cryptid. Stories aren't cryptid.
Well, it depends on what you're calling a cryptid.
It has
anything you make up.
Some leg in science, some connection to understanding of the world, some connection. In other words, Bigfoot's a cryptid because they existed at one point as Gigantopithecus. We know that,
but we don't know Bigfoot is Gigantopithecus.
Exactly, but Gigantopithecus existed, and we know that for a fact. And it matches the description of the Bigfoot. So there's some connection to science. There's zero connection to any kind of fossils or any kind of science known to man. of any kind of werewolf that's ever walked the planet. So that's just a story. That's all that is.
Mm.
It's just anecdotal.
Huh. Well, part of the reason I was bringing up Dogman, when we were talking about evidence, is just I believe there's. I mean, it's you guys feel free to share your opinion, but when it comes to something like a Dogman, I just like that. There, the reason why I tend to have disbelief or highly or strongly skeptic towards that alleged species, if it does exist. The reason I am because all we have is stories, and that's all it is, stories. There's a lack of physical evidence. Now, people, you got some people that are going to say, well, do we have physical evidence of Bigfoot? Well, one, we have more eyewitness accounts. Two, we have evidence that we find and come across.
Yeah, but
the
they
science
say
acknowledge it. The
found
science accept it.
they found Dogman footprints. They've found that we've got thousands and thousands of incidents saying that they've seen Dogman because they've identified the snout and the weird hind legs and the 3-toe thing, and that's the same thing right there.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, let's look at the 3-toe thing just for example.
Yeah. It's just not.
Yeah, but as far as the 3-toe thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people claim that some Bigfoots have been known to be 3 toes. And now, as far as some of what they call canine, I mean, I stopped paying attention to a lot of these Dogman groups because a lot of them post feline tracks and think they got canine tracks. Because some of them can be very deceiving. Some of them, I know I've seen for myself. They are. I get deceived. But yeah, like I said, there's people mixing up species, and that's all due to the lack of awareness, being misinformed. So I guess that's the better way of saying it, instead of saying people are stupid. But so I don't know. Connie said, "I pray dogmen do not exist."
Mm-hmm. I like what Barb said.
Oh wait, what was it? Egyptians had Greek god Anubis. All right, we got Anubis, Bobcat.
Yeah, I was just
we love
Anubis,
don't we?
If I could add something, yes. So according to the Egyptians, supposedly there was a Dogman god, and they called him Anubis.
Yeah,
that's still a story, but that was passed down from the Egyptians.
Yeah.
Yes, but I know a man who talks about Anubis.
A lot of mythology has been passed down, through the years. But we live in 2020, and we have 50 good solid years of, I would say, hundreds of thousands of people who have witnessed a 8 foot tall, 4 foot shoulder wide, bipedal, hairy, half human, half ape thing in the woods, and that represents what the Sasquatch phenomenon is, and it's very consistent, very, very consistent, and it's such a large number of people that we can say it's a legitimate phenomenon. The Dogman thing, I'm not so sure. I think there's only really hundreds of. I bet I could go online tonight and just find hundreds of people, describing Dogman. A certain percentage of those are going to be completely hoaxed, and then you have to consider people misinterpreting what they're seeing, or maybe a certain species, of Sasquatch that, like primates, like the baboon, baboons have a snout, they have a muzzle, so
right.
So you have to consider all those things before you just say, well, somebody saw a Dogman, so therefore there's stories of werewolves, therefore it's true, they exist. I'm not ready to make that leap. I could be wrong. Maybe I'll run into one day and go, oh, I was wrong. But I'm just trying to be objective as I can about the subject, and there's just really not that many actual Dogman reports.
Well, on that note, I'm going to jump in there because something you had said, I'm jotting stuff down, trying to keep my mind, different thoughts together, and I'm listening to you at the same time. And then what came to my mind is, I don't believe in evolution. I believe in adaptation, which is almost similar but different. But all right, let's say there is a dog man. We got Bigfoot, we got dog man. All right, now we got non-human apes. Okay, now on the dog man side of things, we have all kinds of canines, wolves, dogs, whatever, crap load of different species and subspecies and strains and whatever. So, all right, now let's look at things on the science side of things when it comes to evolution. According to science, we have an evolutionary thing where man evolved from apes. Okay, so now we have the dog side of things. Where's the evolution story to the dog? Did dog evolve into a man, or how did that ever come about? Did a dog breed with a human, which is impossible? Just like, scientifically speaking, you cannot take two opposites or two complete different seeds and breeds, and it's got to be of that same bloodline. That's what came to my mind. So we have, like, for example, we have Dogman. Excuse me. We have Bigfoot, but science has claimed that we came from, we have ancestors that moved around bipedal, that are hairy and very ape-like, but we came to be who we are today, according to science. I'm not saying this for me. I don't know. Do you guys understand where I'm kind of getting at? Like,
yeah.
In other words, even scientifically speaking, there's no history of evidence, of any kind of evolutionary of a human and a dog, hybrid, or whatever, how you want to call that.
Yeah, well, there's nothing in the record to this date to even suggest that canines evolved at any point to walk on 2 feet and be 8 feet tall. Like, they can't. I mean, they can barely pull that off now, like domestically, right? If your largest canine today doesn't stand 8 feet tall if you put it up on its hind legs. So yeah, I mean, there's no science at all that suggests that the dogs could have evolved at a point. There's plenty of science to show that primates have in the past and could, in fact, be now. And the primate record's incomplete. We just got lucky. We got lucky that we found the Gigantopithecus fossils that we found. It was just pure luck. If you look into that story about,
right,
it was somebody went into a cave and found some fossils, and they were selling the teeth in a shop, and anthropologist just happened to come in and go, wow, this is something I've never seen before. So we just even got lucky we found that.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. So, all right. I like how we get into some odd, interesting discussions.
I know where Dogman came from, though.
There was what's that?
The Dogman came from the aliens. They actually made him.
Alien weapons.
So be it.
I think the aliens made the Bigfoots too.
That's where.
Dude, you're way off, bro. It was the flying spaghetti monster. I know that for a fact. I can prove it.
Oh yeah, I remember the spaghetti monster. It's interesting. All right. I'm going to be watching live chat. The people throwing on and off. I've been glancing here. They got some interesting things, and there was actually a couple questions, which I'll try to get back to some of them. All right. Pat, you were talking about, when you were telling Nikki about, spirits and this and that, it's a bad thing. Don't be chasing bad thing. Since we're talking about Bigfoot and everything, I wanted to ask you, in your honest opinion, do you think Bigfoot's a bad subject or bad thing for people to be involved with? Because I've actually heard other people say that you don't want to mess with Bigfoot, you don't want to go looking for him, blah blah blah, different things like that. But I've always found that interesting. I never, I personally don't have no issues, but other people do for various reasons. But I just thought I'd check that out. So
Yeah, yeah, I would say, and like the best analogy that I could put it in is, how many people go out in the wild and try and spend time or get close to, or even observe at relatively close range, grizzly bears. Not many. So I would say, unless you're a person that's willing to go out to Alaska and observe grizzly bears at close range and want to interact with them, so you get their attention, they have your attention, unless you're that person, you have no business being in the woods looking for a Bigfoot. Like that's the way I look at
it. Okay. Nikki, what do you think?
Sorry, about what?
Oh, she's ignoring us now.
My sister's trying to get on, and she still can't get on over here.
Really?
It says she's blocked because we can't see any of her comments.
Is she on YouTube?
I don't know. Are you on
Tell
YouTube, sister?
Hey, Nikki,
I told her to
tell
just sign in on Sister Side Chat. That way we can see her, but she's
Hey,
not doing it.
Nikki,
What?
tell your sister if she has problems, try a different web browser.
That could be too, because she should be able to get on here without an issue. Tell you what, we got room to add her on here. You want to
come on, sister?
Yeah, because if she wants to come on, send her. She should be able to use the same joining link as I sent you. Forward that, just share it or forward it over to her. That should work that way. So, yeah. I don't know. For those who haven't seen Nikki, there was a video of Nikki and her sister when they were kids.
No,
they
it
were real
was not.
I thought that was just cute.
But it was so cute. I couldn't help but post that.
It was. Yeah, you guys look like, I keep saying you guys. It's not you, but it's I keep referring to it as you two. Two little girls act all gangster looking.
They were all like cholas, doing the whole dance. Yeah. And their makeup was done like chola style. But they were like 3 and 4 years old. It was hilarious.
Hey,
but don't let Nikki lie to you guys. I know her bloodline. I know where she comes from.
Hey, Daniel.
What's that? What's up, Bob?
I got a quick question. Knowing that you are retired, that you served, I got a serious question for you. Did you see or get a chance to watch that YouTube video where it says U.S. Where it says soldier talks about aliens? What's your thought on that? Just what's your input on it?
Soldier talks about aliens? I don't remember that one.
I think I know what he's talking about. There was actually a couple different ones. It wasn't about alien. Well, there's been documentaries and stuff referring with people where they got their faces blurred out and stuff. But
it was the main one.
I'm not really sure.
And he's talking about the aliens and what he saw and what he knew, what he knows.
Huh.
Yeah, that could be a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. I'm not really sure about that one. So,
well, when you get a chance, watch that one and then let me know next show.
Okay, I'll have to check into that. I'm not really familiar with. I kind of am, but then I'm not. I can't say for sure. That's all. But,
it's a good like 10-minute clip.
Okay. Yeah, Joni Michalski is asking, so have we been social distancing or out Bigfooting? I've been out Bigfooting every opportunity I get. So, and in Pat's case, normally, instead of flying a kite, he's been flying drones. So,
yeah.
Actually, I think that's very cool.
Yeah, live stream from beautiful nature on a drone. Yeah.
Yeah, That's some cool stuff right there. And I'm sure down there it's getting hard because as far as the canopy, like if you wanted to browse the forest, look, let's say to look for Bigfoot, it probably wouldn't be that good right now, would it? Because I noticed up here in Virginia, the canopy, all the trees are starting to fill in now up here. So I was thinking about that earlier when I'm driving. I'm looking because I was driving. Driving through the mountains and I'm looking. I was like, you wouldn't. Wouldn't be able to see nothing now. So
all the new growth, has come in, which it's a beautiful like neon green right now. But the canopy's filling out fast.
Oh yeah.
So, as far as like doing any kind of drone drone ops related to Bigfoot, which would be the thermal stuff anyway. But you just can't.
Yeah.
Once it fills out down here, man. I mean, it's Vietnam. Forget about it. You can't see. If I was looking for a missing 2-year-old kid or even my own dog or something, like I would never be able to find him through the canopy. It would be it'd be better to be boots on the ground at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Huh. You don't. No, I was gonna say that's a different subject. I was gonna ask you. You don't have no kids, do you?
I don't have any children, no. Mm-hmm.
No.
Hey, Daniel.
Yes.
I got one more question for you. I know that you are very familiar with your area, and that. Okay, I can't say his name, but you know who I'm about to say.
Yeah.
When he says that your area and his area is an ancient volcano. Is that correct?
No, has he actually said it like that?
Yeah.
Or is he referring to the area?
And a matter of fact, in one of his areas, he did.
There is retired volcanoes out here, but they're not that noticeable. If you don't know where, if somebody didn't point it out to you, you're like, oh, dude. No, there's here in the Shenandoah Valley, just west of where I'm at now. If you go out to around the Allegheny Mountains and borderline of West Virginia, I can show you two mountains, small little mountain hills that are considered retired volcanoes. That's what they're referred to. I've looked it up online. Virginia has only two. Yeah. So what it is, the Shenandoah Valley, it looks like basically if you're on top of the mountain looking down and you see the whole valley, it looks like a big crater, because the mountains are completely surrounding us. Because we have the Blue Ridge Mountains that run from, Northern Virginia all the way to North Carolina. And then on the western side, you have the Allegheny Mountains, and there's other set of mountains that run along there, and there's all kinds of wood. It's just it's basically he used to refer to it as we live in a big salad bowl, because that's what generally. Honestly, yes, it does look like a big bowl, just the way the valley, the Shenandoah Valley is. So, but the valley itself is not a volcano. So
that's not what it. Yeah, it's just to add a little more history to that, like over the past 350 million years, Bobcat, like the Appalachian chain of mountains, which is what runs by Daniel and runs by me up here in North Georgia, and so we're 600 miles apart almost. That chain over the past 350 million years has risen to the Rocky Mountain status, and then come back down and risen again to it twice, and then come back down to where it is now. So it's a very ancient Appalachian chain. Is why they call it a chain of mountains that over the year, over that time, man, certainly has had volcanic activity, but we're not like Mount St. Helens or anything like that going on over here. It's like Daniel said, it's retired.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, of course, when I first learned about that, it's funny because one of the festivals that go on every year is the Highland County Maple Festival. And at the time, the last time I went to it, I had Brianna with me, my daughter, and she was familiar with it. She was like, "Daddy, there's a volcano out here." I said, "What? What are you talking about?" And then, sure enough, one of the little stores along the, where the festival, festival takes place for miles and miles and miles, and there's vendors all over the place. And some of the local stores, and they set stuff out and sell. And one of the local stores in the county, the owners of the store, their kids were outside, and they had pamphlets and things set up, and it said "Volcano Kids." I said, "Wait a minute, what's this?" And Brianna's like, "See, I told you." And then it was actually right behind there. There's a small hill. It does not look big. It's nothing that you would get excited about, and it's so old. It just it looks like a mosquito bite, and it's an old retired volcano. I was like, so. Yeah, I thought that was very educational because she actually learned about it in school. So, yeah. But yeah, if you get a chance, Bobcat, check that out. Google volcanoes in Virginia, or and see what you come up with. I only looked it up. I kind of looked up in the Shenandoah Valley because I wanted to get a little familiar with that because I found it interesting. It was new information to me. So, but yeah. But yeah, again, to clear that up, yeah.
Thanks.
So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, no problem.
And also, like, just look into the history of the Appalachian Mountains.
I would love.
Yeah.
One thing I want to do on my bucket list. One of my things on my bucket list, I have to get physically fit first. I'm trying to lose my weight, and then once I get physically fit, I'm going to go on that Appalachian Trail. I want to go. My grandpa lives in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I can actually have him take me to that part, and I want to walk some of it.
Well, if you want to start on the southern end, it starts down there by Pat. So,
like literally, right?
Well, I mean,
yeah.
Because it runs all the way from Maine down to Georgia, and it runs right through here, Virginia. Because we get tons of Appalachian hikers. They come down off the trail, and we have over in the town of Waynesboro, in different areas, we have locations throughout the valley where they honor and respect the Appalachian hikers. Like the local YMCA's, they allow them to come in there to take showers. Some of the restaurants allow them to come up, fill up their water and stuff in there. And so it's pretty cool how that works out. And then they set trap and head back up on the mountain trail. So, on the Appalachian Trail. Yeah, the Appalachian Trail runs right along here. So it's I'd never been on it. But like, I mean, I know I know a lot of trails, and every so often I learn of new trails that I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know. Some of the trails I know are the ones I stumble across, and then when I get to looking at maps and stuff, new maps, I didn't know there was a trail out here or in that location. Because some area you just don't get too familiar with sometimes. But yeah, there's trails that crisscross and everything. There's so many trails. They're like game trails, But like if you're familiar with how game trails run and zigzag through the woods, they're like a highway in the woods, So it's hiking trails, for a lot of people. It's kind of neat.
Yeah.
So.
And bridle trails too.
What trails?
Bridle trails, where people take their horses.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, here, like over in my camp area, my research area, there are so many different trails, and some of them are, there's old logging trails. What I call them old logging trails. There is regular narrow trail hiking trails, but there's a lot of people that go horseback riding out there, and I mean, there'll be tons of people. You'll have like I'll ride out there. It's like, oh, okay. There's like 3 or 4 big long horse trailers, and they, people get out there. They do it most weekends, but I've hiked in areas are like I'm looking at tracks, and I come across. I said, man, they do go quite a ways because like there's some areas you wouldn't expect to come across them, but you wouldn't think they would hike that way. But Some of those people got horses that are conditioned to hike Spain. A lot of them just stay on simple trails that might cross a few creeks and streams, but that's one thing I've always wanted to do because ever since the Patterson footage, Bob Gimlin and Roger Patterson, they were on horseback, and so that when that happened, I always thought about, man, that would be cool to have a similar experience in that way, but
yeah,
because I know areas I can almost vision something like that happen out in my area because certain areas that give me that feeling sometimes because they're way out there, and some of these trails they get out there and they go quite a ways, and one in particular crosses a creek or stream like multiple times. The further you go out, the more you cross. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's I find it fascinating, dude, that no one that I'm aware of at all, and they'd be bragging about it if they did. No one has tried to replicate what Patterson Gimlin did. As far as they were out there for 2 weeks. A lot of people don't realize that they spent time out in that area for 2 weeks on horseback, moving around from place to place until they finally just stumbled upon one, and no one that I'm aware of has tried to replicate that since then. So it's kind of interesting that, that happened that way.
Well, I guess I need to learn to be a little bit more blunt and outspoken when I see these horseback riders out there in my area. If they ever experience anything, I need to ask them these kind of questions because a lot of times, if I get into talking about with other campers and stuff or people that's been in the woods, or if they've been out there enough, like on and off throughout the years, I'll eventually come out and ask them because I want to know and learn of other experiences and other things, and because no one's going to come out and tell you, your average Joe will not say anything unless they don't care what they say, but a majority of the time people are not going to tell you that if they saw or experienced something because by nature we get ridiculed and made fun of I know I've been numerous times, so I can understand that. So that's why I try to get somebody comfortable, and I kind of try to gradually get into that, and I'll try to share what I do and what I explore, and I might tell them what I find out in the woods, hoping that it might trigger something in their mind, and then I'll just come out and I was like, well, all of the time you've been out here, have you found or seen anything that just looked odd or not normal, or maybe have seen something that shouldn't be out here? I'll ask them those kind of questions, and like I said, I haven't done it in a while, but I need to start doing it again. So, but
you do ask
it's fun.
Yeah, but also Bob Gimlin and Roger Patterson, they weren't on recreational trails, man. They were off deep in logging territory. They were in remote areas, looking for Bigfoot. So they weren't in recreation areas or well-traveled areas. They were out in the deep woods of that area, and just happened to stumble upon what they did. It could have been a 1 in a million chance, or maybe there was something about their technique that gave them an advantage. I'm not sure, and we'll never know, because no one's trying that. No one's going out into remote areas on horseback looking for Bigfoot. Everybody just kind of wants to go to their hot spots and get screamed at or whatever. It's like that doesn't do anybody any good.
Right. Yeah. Now, as far as horseback, I had one lady that she's really into horses. She, to be honest with you, I can't remember. She reached out to me, and she explained to me what she does. And this particular trail It's a trail. People, there's areas, people camp out there on random occasions. But this particular area where she does her horseback riding, and she's got trails, she's got mapped out on her phone, because where she's made separate trails, and her husband will go out there when they map out, and sometimes they make new trails out there, and now keep in mind this is part of national forest, but some of the old trails that've been there, he'll go out there if they got like fallen timber or limbs in the way. He'll go out there, he'll cut stuff, or he'll move stuff out the way. And but she shared something with me on two different occasions. Well, one thing that her husband found a few things, but she told me in a certain county, certain county in this particular area, her and a group of people that are all on horseback. And I know the area. I drive through there every so often. But she said they were on horseback, and then, they had, she said, the biggest stone. It was very large. It was probably twice the size of a softball or so. But they were standing still there on their horses on the trail. And she said what sounded like, if you take a big rock and throw it as fast and hard as you can through the trees, you're going to hear it flying for a little bit through the trees, like scuffling and flying before it lands and drops on the ground, right? She said the way she described it, that sound of something flying through the trees, they've heard it for like just a few good seconds, and it sounded like it was just kept coming. And then all of a sudden, boom, right behind one of their horses was this big stone that flew and landed right behind them. So, but that was right here in Virginia. I can't remember how long ago she said that was, but horseback riders, maybe something about it's got to be the horses. I don't know, or the fact that there was a group of women in that situation, because it was her and other females on horseback. So it could have been a number of things that got that. I don't know what they were doing, but perhaps they were getting too far on that trail, or maybe it was a distraction, because I think about the time I had a rock thrown at me. What was the purpose of it? And the way I conclude on that would be, it's telling me to get away. It's, like I must have passed through an area that was too close for comfort, and they were just trying to hint to me, maybe that's what it is. So
yeah. I find it amazing. The most amazing thing about the Patterson Gimlin film to me to this day is it not just the footage. The footage is what it is at this point. We've seen it 1,000 times. It's the fact they caught it off guard. Right. They caught it off guard. They did take it by surprise. They did, Patterson was able to get his camera, out and ready and go and get on it. And, Gimlin was able to flank towards it. And they had, that has not been done since then. Like, that's more than 50 years ago.
Right.
So that's the amazing thing to me, is just how much they were able to catch this thing out in the open and completely unaware of their presence. Is just blows my mind.
Yeah. Well, like Robert said, now I thought I might have heard something like this. I'm not sure, but as far as what he's mentioning right here, he said, I only heard they got spooked after the horse of Patterson saw Patty. I thought that was true too, but then again, I don't remember the story there. There's bits and pieces I don't remember, but so.
Well, Bob Gimlin. Roger said to Bob, he said, "Cover me." So Bob Gimlin took his rifle out and he flanked. He went around and flanked towards. He got within 30 feet of Patty. And that's when you see Patty in the film turn and look, it's looking because that's when Bob Gimlin on his horse got right near Patty. Patty was looking more at him than it was Roger. or the camera. You know, they call that the money shot, but Bob Gimlin insists to this day that, you know, he had got within 30 feet of that thing and had its rifle out, and then that's when it turned and looked. That was its biggest moment of concern of what was going on. So at that point, Bob was on his horse. He was still on his horse, and what that must look like to a freaking Bigfoot, right? Like we look like minotaurs, you know. I mean, my imagination.
Oh yeah.
But that has to be a bizarre sight to them. There's something to that, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Daniel.
Now, all right. There's a question on the live chat. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Bob.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I had one more quick question. Do you know how far is the Appalachian Trail from your area?
That's a good question. The thing is, I think that a lot of them pick up the way the Appalachian Trail runs. I think there's kind of a when people come down off the mountain. I'm not sure the exact pattern of the trail because a lot of them you see over here in town, like when the hikers get off the trail, you see them right there in town. So I'm assuming there's a trail. Part of the trail must run actually close to my parents' house, along the Blue Ridge Mountains. So, yeah. But I think my area is west of here. I believe the Appalachian Trail runs. It's part of the Blue Ridge Mountains because that what confirms it. I've seen the signs for it out there. So, so my research area
probably right
is
there.
a different set of mountains. Yeah. So, yeah, because my research area, those mountains are closer to the Alleghenies than the Blue Ridge. Yeah. There's actually there is a big wide or big division there. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And I live
absolutely,
Bobcat. I live about 15 miles from the Appalachian Trail.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, in fact, the entry point where it begins is about 15 miles from me. Yeah,
sweet.
Yeah, and the way my parents' house is, it's basically the Blue Ridge Mountains is basically their backyard because, when you're right there at their house, it's like. It's right there. You can't miss it, yeah. So, but yeah, it's the valley's pretty cool out here. There's a lot to explore and discover out here. It's a scenic viewer, tourist. There's a lot of breathtaking areas, Yeah, our mountains ain't like Colorado or way out west, but I love these mountains out here. There's a lot of nice scenery out here. So,
yeah.
My dad took me to the Blue Ridge Mountains when I was 16. I did not. I fell in love with the Blue Ridge Mountains. I did not want to come back to Cleveland. I wanted to stay there.
I can't blame you.
Yeah. Well, what part were you in, Virginia or North Carolina?
Well, when my dad took me, we went to. Matter of fact, that was North Carolina, but we went to a place that was called Grandfather's Mountain.
Interesting.
Okay.
Look it up if you have time.
Yeah, later. I'm not familiar with that one.
It's called Google it. It's called Grandfather's Mountain. There's a bridge that you have to walk across, and you literally have to walk across, and you're above the clouds.
Yeah.
What? I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, you should come back, man. You should visit.
I'm gonna look it up right now. Hold on.
Yeah, I definitely want to come back there.
What's it called? Grandfather Mountain?
Grandfather Mountain, North Carolina.
Grandfather Mountain receives. Okay, hold on. Here it is. Here.
Do you see it? Do you see the bridge?
Hold on. I'm looking up different things. I haven't clicked on it yet. Hold on. Oh, okay. This has got to be right here.
Yeah, evidently there's
zoom in. There's
a gorge there, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's the
That's
bridge.
the bridge.
Hold on, let me get my notifications out. Yeah. Yep.
The day that we were actually there,
Pretty cool.
it was foggy, and we were walking across that bridge, and it felt like we were like above the clouds.
Well, you were. If it was foggy, then you were above the clouds.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was scared, and that bridge was moving.
I'm curious to.
Well, you should visit there again,
Hold on,
man.
I'm curious to know the elevation of that mountain.
Oh, it's high.
Elevation.
Yeah, it's probably like, I don't know,
Hold on.
4,000 feet above sea level, something like that.
Oh, okay. It's about 6,000. Oh, it's 5,945. 5,945 feet. So,
That's really
I was gonna say,
huh.
Yeah.
it sounded like almost close to 10,000.
Yeah, because it's the mountain range. Yeah, it's the Blue Ridge Mountains and Appalachian Mountains range.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Were you going to talk about Barry
Yeah,
Preston
there sure is,
Robinson's
Kel.
question?
Yeah. Let me get back to that. I kind of lost my train of thought there. Where to go? Hold on, I got to back up. Oh yeah, he was asking about the massacre, about a massacre. First of all, he was asking what our thoughts were on the massacre that happened in Bluff Creek. First of all, was there really a massacre that happened there? Is there evidence that there was a massacre there? Because there's only one person that claims that there was a massacre that took place there, and because he put a bunch of stories there, and oh man, I can get myself in trouble because there's people that support the hell out of that dude and that got brainwashed. But there's no evidence of there. There's no evidence that there was a massacre. Two, there's no evidence that whatever. I don't know. It's kind of controversial too because there's a lot of other things there's a lot of back and forth rumors and information that got thrown into that. But no, there's no evidence that there was a massacre there. As far as I'm concerned, there was no massacre that ever happened there. Not involving Bob Gimlin, that's for sure. So
yeah, I don't.
But there's people that are making information up that weren't even there. Yeah,
Whoa.
people come up with stories they weren't even there on that site. So, huh?
You saying a massacre that
What's that, Pat?
Gimlin?
Yeah, well, the whole MK Davis massacre.
Oh yeah, Bluff Creek.
Have you heard of that?
No,
Yeah,
but
MK Davis.
Oh,
what's the attachment to Bob Gimlin massacre too?
Well, he claims that during that whole scene, they were up there and they were massacring Bigfoot during that time, and that he has photos that he has manipulated to having things look like bloody pools of blood, and because he's altered the photos so much that he made them look a little red, but to me they don't even look red, they just look like mud. But that there's even bodies there, and that they were dragging bodies around, and it's ridiculous. To me, it seems ridiculous.
It's just absurd. I mean, do you want to make money off of, a 30-second good clip of video, or do you want to make money off an actual body? I think we would have got the actual body back in 1967 if they were massacring Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's absurd. I mean, of course.
Yeah, he's got his whole way of thinking, his whole way of analyzing the footage 1,000 times or more. Every day he's got a new analysis of the same footage over and over and over again. Yeah, and it just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. And he can say whatever he wants. It's just his opinion, But he's got a lot of people believing in that.
Yep.
They think because he has a credible background, from his previous work, that means he's right.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's
Well, I'll
just
tell
his
you what.
opinion.
yeah, just an opinion, and
Yep.
a wrong one at that.
Well, what's
Yeah.
oh my goodness.
Are they really, Barb?
Post showing the original. What happened?
Oh no, Barb's saying that Steve Isdall and Scott
Steve
Carpenter are
Isdall.
talking about it now, probably because he just released new footage like
Oh,
yesterday
wow.
or something. Another thing
Oh,
of
yeah.
the whole footage again.
Yeah, don't get me started.
Oh, wow. That's probably why what's the name is upset because what the heck is his name? Russell Accord.
Mm-hmm.
He posted original 2 shots, the one that's been manipulated and the original.
Oh,
And
really?
he says, he's getting tired of people. Yeah.
Oh, I
And,
haven't seen that one. I'll have to go back.
Yeah,
and
he
look.
was kind of upset. Yeah, of course it's under his new name, Sage Accord. Let me see if I screenshotted that.
Yeah, and
Maybe.
without
That's a whole another can of worms, man. Bringing that guy's name into it, and I mean Steve and Scott. I mean,
oh yeah,
screw those guys, but Russell, dude. I mean, Russell. I don't know that I should bring this up here. Like maybe I should save it for
All right.
my.
Well, first of all, yeah, you're not gonna find a post because he deleted it because he said,
Oh.
"Okay, I'm deleting the last few posts. It's embarrassing to watch good people fighting with other good people. They don't even know over something in history. I want you folks to believe what you want. It's entirely up to you. Just like flavors, cars, hobbies, you need to make your own decisions in life based on what you prefer. I don't have time for games, BS, or bringing attention to foolishness. I'm out. Spread something good and positive," he said. Yeah, because what it is, people are believing what somebody that was never there. They're basically believing somebody is that's altering images with their computer software, and But yeah, when he showed in this particular image, when he showed that, I was looking at the original image. People failed to neglect that was called Bluff Creek. It's a big creek, almost like a river. Some of it was wide, and during that period, during that time, the water was low. It was dried up in most of that area. And when I was looking at it, I said, that clearly looks like a puddle of water, considering that it was, a creek, part of a creek, because all the other colors combined look pretty good in there, considering it was old, 15, 60 millimeter camera at the time. So, yeah, because I commented. He wanted to know people's opinion. He said, "What do you think?" He said, blah blah blah. I shared my opinion about it, what it looked like to me in the original. Yeah, because in the one that's manipulated, looks like orange. Like somebody took a online digital marker and changed the color. So that's all it looks like.
Yeah.
It's whatever, but yeah,
Bye,
but
Connie.
yeah, like I said, he's tired of people messing with stuff like that.
I'll just say this right now, man. Like anything to anybody watching right now, anything having to do with Steve Isdale, you could take that up in a piece of paper, roll it up in your hand, and crush it and throw it in the trash. That guy has no idea what he's talking about, man. None.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with him.
He's the hunting guy.
Yeah,
he's hunting.com.
He is a gullible.
Oh yeah.
Dude that doesn't know what he's talking about at all whatsoever. So you could just anything having to do with that guy, man, just stay clear. And it's sad, man, because he has 100,000 subscribers. So he's building a little cult of people, that.
Yeah, he's got already 100,000 followers.
Yeah. And it's just sad. I mean, it's like welcome to the Bigfoot party. You've just started a new cult within the Bigfoot world where objectivity has no place. Fair criticism has no place.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I don't even know. I've never even seen what you guys were talking about, but just your description of this idea that there was some massacre of Bigfoot at Bluff Creek back then, and Bob Gimlin was involved somehow. It's just so absolutely absurd on its face that no one should give it any attention whatsoever. And the fact that people are spreading this around like it's real, or like, are you serious?
Oh yeah, he's analyzed that photo to say that he can see the track marks from the tractor that was in there hauling the bodies and all this crap. Yeah,
Ridiculous.
It's crazy.
I mean, like beyond the pale absurd.
Yeah, if I can add something to it, without saying his name or being negative about it, let me say he is a great man. He's a kind man, but let me say this: from what I've seen, and some days he'll keep talking about it 3 times, 4 times a day.
Oh yeah,
stuff like that. You're taking it way overboard. He does great work, but he, like you said, Nikki, he wants, like, you know, like in one of his videos, he keeps talking about this puddle of blood. Who knows if that was a puddle of blood? Yeah, it may look red, but that could have been mud.
Yeah.
Right, like what Dickie said, or water. But keep in mind, well, I'm getting some bad feedback here from somebody without a mic or earbuds. But anyway, it looked like the color. It looked like blood or red because that looked like that after he altered it. After he messed with it. The original footage does not look like blood. You know, there's nothing in it that indicates that that's what happened. If there was a massacre there, they're filming something. Wouldn't the image of Patty Patty walking casually away, you know, and you know it was a good steady walk. If something happened, if Patty's watching other Bigfoots getting shot down, wouldn't, like any other animal, if you shoot a deer and there's other deer around, you shoot that one deer, are the other deer going to just nonchalantly just casually walk off, or are they going to jolt off? You know, if there was Bigfoots that were being killed at that spot, wouldn't Patty just like go away faster or act with like, you know, like there was something wrong? She was like, huh, they ain't going to shoot me. You know, but
yeah,
I think there would have been some other details that would have, you know.
It's just, I mean, it's beyond absurd, and I can't believe it's even worthy of discussion, to be honest with you. Again, hey, what if I told you guys? What if I put a YouTube video together? You know, explaining how that puddle of mud came from the flying spaghetti monster. Did you watch it?
Right.
That's it. I mean, it's the same thing. It's wild speculation is all it is. So chalk it up for what it is.
Yeah.
Wild speculation. And it has no place. It has no place in reasonable thought or objectivity whatsoever, or trying to figure out, you know, what these things are, or, you know, like it's just it's a big distraction. You know?
Yeah.
Like, so
absolutely.
MK, stop it, dude. Stop it. Like, I'm gonna tag you. I'm gonna tag you in this video right now.
Oh
Just
my god.
No, don't.
No,
you're gonna get his cult. You tag him in this, and we're talking about what we are. His cult is gonna attack us. So
big time. Yeah, they will. You interviewed him, didn't you, one time?
No.
You haven't had him?
Not me.
Not me.
Oh, I thought
I
you
will.
did.
I'd be more than happy to have him on and discuss these things. Like, I'm prepared for that. I can deal with that. Or Steve Isdale, by the way, like him too. Like, come on.
He doesn't like the Bigfoot community. We all suck.
Well, I'm not. I mean, you know, I mean, I'm just participating in discussion wherever it is to be had. You know, I'm not.
Yeah.
Not that communal about it. But
he's here for all the people who are hurt by these things, that are emotionally scarred and need support.
Well,
So-
you know, there's
No,
a lot of
you're-
emotionally scarred people in the world, man, way outside of the Bigfoot thing, man. Like, you know, like, you know,
Yeah.
jump on your moral high ground. Like, just go take care of people in nursing homes, dude. Like, really?
Right.
You know, like I've been around
No,
these things. I've
Nikki,
been around those things. I'm not emotionally scarred by them. Yeah, I don't need your help, Steve.
Yeah.
Like, I've been around them. Like, I'm fine, thanks. You know.
Yeah, real quick. I'm gonna go get me another drink. But yeah, Nikki, I think your sister thought we were referring to Woolly Burger. I didn't know Woolly Burger was even on the chat, but
No, well, she
So,
liked the name, but
um,
then she said because you took your picture off that you were picking a woolly booger right now.
Aha.
Oh.
Get
No,
it?
I'm actually getting ready to go get me a drink.
Oh,
Yeah.
Green.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See,
No.
I'm slow. I'm a little slow sometimes. Okay.
oh.
But,
Now, what
I'll be-
video were y'all
guys, I'll
talking
be-
about?
Yeah.
Oh, the Patterson
The
Gimlin
Patterson footage.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
about it?
with all the different speculation and everything that was going on there, all the rumors about it. We were kind of talking about some of the alleged, you know, we were, I don't know, it's kind of confusing. A lot of the massacre, well, people talking about the massacre that supposedly happened there, which we believe that did not. All because
Yeah.
of one person's
And see,
craziness.
Well,
But I'll be right back, guys.
yeah.
well,
Steve,
I haven't seen it, so I don't.
The
you know,
Patterson
again,
Gimlin?
for
Yes,
me-
you have the famous one.
Yes, I have seen it. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, but I didn't see any massacre about that.
Oh,
stuff
yeah,
or
the
anything.
massacre. Yeah.
I haven't seen
Yeah.
that. I heard people. I heard way back months ago about people talking about that, but
Mhm.
but a lot of stuff in the story didn't make any sense to me.
yeah.
And then
It-
so and when in doubt, throw it out. And if you're going to kill these species of animal and everything like that type deal, I don't know about y'all, but they hunters, we take trophies. At times, there's sometimes also we for deers would take rats. To about the animals that we kill, or maybe a finger or something like that to remind us about the kill that we had. And but there's no blood samples, there's no hair samples, there's no nothing. And then for me, there's nothing. And then I heard stories that they even had dogs tracking them and everything like that. But the dogs that I know, that stories about Bigfoot out here, were too scared to get real close to this animal, even to this day. So again, when in doubt, you got to throw this thing out. It's an old story or anything like that type deal. If you don't have solid proof evidence, if you don't have their hair samples, if you don't have the blood samples, if you don't go out there and see what this animal was laying at, I'm pretty sure there's some DNA to this day. Again, it's we just have to prove that it did exist. A lot of films could be made up. A lot of stuff could be cropped and everything like that type deal. But I don't know what to say about that. So I haven't seen it.
Yeah, just so you know, Baltimore, it was an absurd, wild speculation story that has no basis in reality. But what sucks about it is that it takes away from the reality of what that footage was, which was, look, it was either real or it was hoaxed, right? So that's all it should be about. Like, it was real or it was hoaxed. And this off track, like, oh, they killed 30 of them or whatever, the bodies, brought in the tractor, and
30.
And the flying spaghetti monster came along and zapped them and took them into its flying spaghetti monster cocoon.
How many did they say they killed?
I don't know. They say massacre, so that implies a lot, right? But
Barry Preston actually has it the right way. It was that the location was downstream by hunters hired by a lumber company. Patty was a fleeing survivor that Gimlin and Patterson encountered. They weren't involved in the hunt. That actually sounds more like what I'd heard.
Right.
But
then,
it still,
how
it
do you
was at
know
that time. It was at that very time. And there's footage of nothing, right? It's just the creek bed.
Well, I'm
and
sorry.
he's pulling out stories out of that scene.
Yeah, and it doesn't
when
make
there's nothing there.
it doesn't
Now,
make,
now, are y'all hunters?
It
If,
doesn't make sense anyway because Patterson and Gimlin were in that area for 2 weeks. 2 weeks on horseback before they got that footage. They would have encountered loggers. They would have known those people were there. And Bob Gimlin, he has no stories about, well, yeah, these loggers were over here, and they were, armed. Like, none of that's real. Like, it's just made up, clearly.
well, Pat, I'll tell you one thing. I'm a hunter. And there's stuff that I know about hunting, and I've been doing this with the age of maybe like around 9, 10 years old. If there's going to be people hunting or shooting at animals, they're going to be so skittish that they're not going to be seen or heard. So again, it's doesn't it again, it doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
I mean, look at now. Yeah, look at right now. This stuff, these creatures are very hard to see right now. If we're lucky, we could see one.
Yeah.
If we live in the fantasy world, we could see 20 or 30 of them. But we'd be lucky to see one in a lifetime. And all of a sudden, here comes all these. It doesn't make any sense.
No,
does not make any sense at all.
I'm not sure what a platoon of Navy SEALs could do against one Bigfoot today, right now, in 2020. I'm not sure what they could do without any kind of aerial support. I think with aerial support, they could do well. But let's say they have no aerial support, just boots on the ground, like a squad of Navy SEALs against one Bigfoot. I think that's not even happening. That damn thing is going to outsmart them to the nth degree, and one of them might end up dead.
I heard stuff that actually said that ball on Patty's leg was a bullet shot or something like that, and then again, it's like we just don't know without proof. Again, I mean, our research is dealing with proof, and it's dealing with science and proof. If he was actually shot in the leg or whatever, he would actually have something, a liquid, coming out from the leg, and it would be very noticeable. There are a lot of animals out here that I know. There's a lot of animals that I know that have stink glands. And then, so like for your wild javelinas, just to name one species of animal, and there's others. And look at the deer, has that little stink gland in his legs. Again, we don't know too much about these species at all, and we don't know what happened there. Just only those two people that took the Patty photo.
Yeah.
I mean, we just don't know.
Yeah, we know.
Well,
we know we know what's in the film, and we also know this about Bob Gimlin, that he was offered $1 million to tell his story. Like, if it was like the Discovery Channel came to him and said, "We'll give you $1 million if you tell your story, you admit it was a hoax, or you tell more than you're telling now," and he turned it down. And he's not a wealthy man now. He doesn't make a lot of money from going to Bigfoot conferences and stuff like that. Like, he hasn't become a multimillionaire off the Bigfoot footage. So he could have snatched up $1 million right then and there just from going, "Hey, you know what? We actually killed a bunch of them," or it was a hoax. Either way you want to go, it is what it is, man. They got the footage they got. And I believe Bob Gimlin's story 100%.
And
well, the other speculation, Okay, I was just gonna make brief mention, because Baltimore mentioned how he heard that could have been possibly a bullet wound. Then he brought up the good point where we would have seen blood, obvious blood. But in other documents, when I watched that footage, they believe didn't state it as fact, but they believe it could be a type of ruptured muscle, a bulging muscle. I forget the name of it. It's something that it's associated that a lot. But then again, that's just part of speculation in that part
Daniel,
of that
and
as far as
also
that goes.
too,
But
and also too is that if it would have been an old wound, let's say for example, if it would have been an old wound, for example, a few days old, whatever, and then the pus and
right,
an infection is going to start over. And there's sometimes that I've actually seen where animals have actually had an infection that would be flies and maggots on it, and I've seen that happen before, and I've seen that with cattle, I've seen those with horses, and I've seen those with a lot of large animals. If there was a wound like that, it would have been infected.
oh yeah, but
I mean, there's a lot of possibility. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Could again, we're talking about a long time ago. So.
Or it clearly wasn't.
well, keep in mind too, if that was if there was if that was a wound by any chance, like as far as what you described, I don't think we would have been able to see that noticeably in that footage, considering it was 15 or 16 millimeter camera film. And plus it was too far of a distance to really notice that. So yeah, I mean it's possible. It's definitely possible though. Just wasn't really sure.
Well,
And
Yeah,
look at the footprint.
Yeah.
And look at his footprints of Patty. It basically did actually walk on a straight, narrow line.
yeah.
With the same characteristics of Bigfoot. But if it would have been wounded, he would have had a totally different stride. So
I agree.
right?
Well, yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah, if that was a fresh wound, I think it would have had more of a serious major limp. Like if just like no different than me, one of us got like a Charlie horse or we got shot in the leg, which would be excruciating. So
Hey,
if
you guys saw one of his other videos where he talks about Patty having a tassel over her neck or some kind of like apparatus hanging off her neck coming down?
I mean,
I know what you're getting at. People do an outline trying to say there was a baby hanging on her back. Yeah,
and that she had a braid
I've heard
coming
that
down,
before.
and she had some kind of necklace on, and that's all part of MK too. He says he can pull all that out on his videos.
Really?
Yeah. All of that. Yeah.
Oh man.
All that is, guys and gals, is imagination. That's just looking deeper into things than you need to look because you want more answers that you can't get. So again, man, people want to impersonate themselves on this phenomenon. Braids, whatever. No,
So basically, I think we got to sum this up. That I'm sorry, I'm going to be blunt and say this, but so I think it's safe to say that MK Davis is the CNN of the Bigfoot community. I mean, but I don't know. That's the way I get it. So just all, like you guys have been saying, imagination, speculation, just rumors, and that's the thing. Rumors cause trouble with other people because that's why Russell Core got he deleted his post. He said people got, in other words, people are just ignorant. People attacking other people because you got this one believes this one believes this one, all because of who started all this speculation about what happened back then. So
yeah,
but
yeah. And,
just like what your buddy says right here. I'm getting tongue tied trying to say his name. Enigma. Yeah. Masker Fairy is crap, and he goes on to say the rest. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
It's just opinion. I mean, we can say it over and over again. People are going to follow who they're going to follow, and that's that.
Yeah, and it's not, I see in here Barry says, he's not a member of any cult, and it's not always about being a cult. Sometimes it's as simple as being a camp of thinking, and the problem with all these different camps of thinking is, like, they can easily be called out one by one for not having any kind of critical thinking towards it at all. No critical thinking, no objectivity. Everything has to be subjective. Everything, garbage in, garbage out. And that's kind of what we've been talking about. And it's really, it's kind of a waste of airtime in a way, other than to demonstrate that, look, garbage in, garbage out doesn't do anybody any good. It doesn't move the ball down the field 1 inch, not 1 inch, to talk about massacres that did not happen 50 plus years ago at Bluff Creek. That doesn't move the ball down the field. And I know that most of the people in the Bigfoot world want answers. That's their biggest concern, is they want more information. They're very curious, as we all are. And so we have to find a way to move the ball down the field and get rid of all this just dumb noise, really.
Well, here we are. All right, while we're on the subject of Patty, here's another thing, too. Let's look at science. Bill Munns. Are you guys familiar with Bill Munns? Have you guys ever seen him in the documentary regarding the Patterson footage? Bill Munns, he's a graphic artist, film analyst, and he will also obtain original copies of the footage, and he's good at what he does, and he's pretty much dissected that video. So have others, in their line of work. So if any of this was ever, if anything, all other, I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. If there was a situation that actually happened there, I believe they would have picked up on details, because other notes, other information that was put on there that got to observe that site was way back then was Jeff Meldrum. He was one of the ones that obtained original casts from that site, because casts were made and they were studied and analyzed and believed to be belong to a real subject, real creature. So, but yeah, that's just one thought I would think of if there was something that actually happened there. People that, basically analyzed and investigated that site, I think something would have been found. Others, not just somebody with a computer and some software, but I could do that on my computer. Anybody who has a computer, you could download editing software and stuff. Mine's we all have it on our cell phones. Believe it or not, even if you don't have something downloaded on your phone, there's basic stuff on your phone. Most phones come with software. Some you could add in photo editors and all that. I got all that on my phone. I got Photoshop on my phone. And just to play around and goof off with. But yeah, there's all kinds of enhancements and lighting and change the color and the pattern. I could take pictures of trees and the flowers. I got flowers out back. I could take pictures of all that, and I could change I got software. I could change the colors completely different to what they look like. And that's what happens when you add too much saturation, too much brightness, and too much of this and that and it. You're gonna get something totally alien, and you're gonna alienate the whole image. Basically. So that's one thing to keep in mind too. Anybody could do that, but
yeah.
You don't have to be, whatever. But so
yeah, but and again, I mean, it just distracts from what people should be focused on. Even though, to be honest with you, I'd love to put I'd love to put the Patterson Gimlin film in the history books where it belongs. We need better observations, obviously, but beyond that, if you're gonna pay attention to the Patterson Gimlin film, like, forget all these wild, crazy stories going in 20 directions, man. Like, let's talk about why it has, elongated shins, why its knee is in a weird place. Why does it have like pendulous breasts? Like things that make it more real, that bring it into the real world, that can't be debunked. That
All
it's a guy in a suit or whatever. Like, I mean, if we're going to discuss this Patterson Gimlin film, there's only two ways to discuss it. Here's why it's real, or here's why it's a hoax. Not there were 30 Bigfoot murdered that day and it was escaping and blah, blah, blah. Like, again, like, just ridiculousness. Let's focus on what it is.
Yeah.
And about that.
All right, let's go talk about. Let's get.
I've heard so many different things.
Dealing with the chin that you said, humans have a chin, and so does Bigfoot have a chin, and the only way that why they have that is that's how Bigfoot pronounces his vowels, A-E-I-O-U's, and then for some reason he has we don't know why he can't pronounce the letter M. So, and everything's dealing for their tongues and everything like that type of about the way they speak and communicate. And then so we know that
Right.
that that's the way that again, that's how he does his what's that word jabberwocky talking, where we say that word samurai talking. And then so they pronounce a lot of vowels, so that's why they have that tongue. That's how they pronounce. That's why they have that chin. So that's how they pronounce vowels and stuff. So,
well, that's interesting. I had never thought of that before.
Yep.
Real quick, Nikki, your sister had a question, and she said nobody answered her question. Do you know what question she might be referring to?
Oh no, what were you talking about? Nobody answered me either. No,
I'm trying to go back to find it.
Well, I will argue with you later, sister. But
let's hear this question.
This isn't our show. This is Daniel's show, so he can talk whatever he wants to. Okay, let's see. What was she saying? Scary shit.
Was she referring to this?
What? Oh, I didn't see any boobs. There were boobs there.
I don't know if
there.
Yeah. So.
Yeah,
it was pretty obvious. Yeah.
There's boobs.
Patty wasn't wearing no bra.
Yeah.
And that was a whole nother thing. Why would at that time they make boobs on that? During this, they wouldn't have done that.
and make them pendulous.
Yeah, they wouldn't have done that.
Very natural. Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? I don't know.
All right. So
she said that was my question.
Okay.
So,
I saw the question, but I was going to tell her later.
We're talking about boobs now. I just want to make sure.
Lupe Mendoza said a follower of MK shared this podcast. That's all right. We're open podcast. We're
just
not private.
talking. We're just
we speak
giving
open.
an opinion. That's all.
Yeah, we are open to discussion.
I watch his stuff. I don't believe in a word he says, but I still watch his stuff. I don't complain. I don't talk back to him. I don't make any comments on any of his stuff, but I watch it because it helps me make my own decision.
Yeah,
exactly.
Me too.
Yeah, and we're not hating on nobody.
Yeah,
no, it's not hate.
I just don't
criticism.
Yeah, I don't care for it. I'm saying it out loud. I don't care for him, but I'm gonna watch what he has to say, and I don't give him any crap about it other than on like here. But it's not. It's just my opinion. I'm nobody. We're on here and we're just talking to each other, so it's not a big deal. He takes it very hard though. When people do give him a hard time, he takes it very hard. I know that for a fact because I've seen all the videos.
Yeah, like
he's done.
Haley. Yeah, Haley brought something up that was interesting. She says, for the longest time, we didn't know why Neanderthals pronounced with short sounds. They were very limited. A long time later, they found another part of their skeleton showing their trachea that didn't travel all the way down or up or down. Maybe something similar with other species. So
Could be.
Maybe. Now, see, that's thinking. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's actually thinking about it.
Yeah.
Instead of speculating or, talking about, Bigfoot massacres. Like, thank you, Haley.
You take something that's real and you expand from that. Could this be applied over here?
Yeah, reasonable theory.
Yeah. You see what Robert says?
No, what? Oh.
For clickbait, title the video, we're talking boobs.
Yep. Hey guys, welcome to Boob Talk. I know everybody's isolated and ready to talk about boob. So we have our panel tonight. We have Daniel Benoit and Bobcat Nikki in Baltimore. Let's talk boob. What's in you, Bobcat?
See what happens when I let my sister on?
Actually, I would like to add one cool thing. Speaking of MK, one cool thing I could say about him that I like, when I seen Chris Jericho, which is the WWE wrestler, him and Chris Jericho was actually talking about Bigfoot. Now that's cool. That's cool.
When was that?
I believe that's about 3 months ago. You could find that on. I'll tell you what. When we get off later, I'll find that video and I'll send each one of you that, and I'll put it on my wall. Yeah, Chris. He was on a show that Chris Jericho aired, and Chris Jericho talked about Bigfoot.
Oh my god!
So how cool is it that a professional wrestler, talks about Bigfoot?
Well, there's a look at all the the South Carolina Squatch Watchers, North Carolina Squatch Watchers. Don't they have a couple of football players that go out with them?
Possibly. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're like pro.
But, I mean,
because I don't know, but there's a lot of people who follow Bigfoot.
Could be college football players.
Look at Rob Lowe.
Yeah.
He believes.
Absolutely.
Pony Boy believes. No. Soda Pop. He was Soda Pop. Sorry.
I'm going to tell you what. I mean, it's like here in Virginia, there's so many people that do know about Bigfoot or believe in Bigfoot, or some of them just like it. They may not completely believe, but they think it's more of a fun subject. It's a fun thing. Like some of these people have these Bigfoot cutouts in the yard. They're not all believers. They just like it because it's cool and they can put it up in the yard. Because there's a lot of people that have them here in Virginia. Then again, somebody posted somewhere down in south part of Virginia. Somebody took a picture and posted this guy's truck and all his stickers. I mean, the back windshield, on the side, the back of the tailgate.
I saw that.
Almost every other. It was all Bigfoot and some of it was other cryptid stuff, but it was the coolest thing. Yeah, and that was right here in Virginia. So I mean, and then on the other hand, there's a lot of people that are slowly coming out of the woodwork, little by little, because I noticed that over the years, because people are starting to get comfortable about it. But then again, there's some people that won't say much about it until you get them comfortable yourself. Because I've gotten, like in the past, throughout the years, I've gotten some people to speak and share things, that they normally wouldn't share with just anybody. But once you get them comfortable and express and share what you know and what you do, then they're going to want to start talking if they have experienced something. You got to gain their trust, and get them comfortable.
Agree.
So
I agree, Daniel. People are getting more and more comfortable And I'll say, like, a part of that is because of the internet. But I mean, I want to credit one guy in particular, you know, which we all know, man. It's like, I think Wes has a lot to do with that. You know, Wes Germer has done amazing things for people being comfortable enough to come tell their story either anonymously or not, you know, like, and that's been I think that's been a huge factor over the past 5 years. I've seen a huge shift in people getting more and more comfortable about the discussing the phenomenon, you know, and I credit Wes for a good chunk of that, I'd say, you know, not solely, but he definitely, he had a big part in that, man, and good on him for it.
Absolutely. Yeah, Enigma said this guy Ron Moorhead. Yeah, we know who Ron Moorhead is. Had a camp with some guys, and they recorded sounds of something they claim are Sasquatch speech. Of course, now he's referring to the Sierra Sounds.
Yeah,
which I think a good majority of us are familiar with the Sierra Sounds. And you know, and I want to make clear this up too and speak about it because Ron Moorhead did a reenactment campsite, and they had a very tall, dark-haired Bigfoot figure that they placed at their campsite, and there was pictures that were taken of it. And keep in mind, it was just for reenactment of what they believe, because they, if I remember the story correctly, they believe that there was something that came close to their tent during that time period while they were camping. And so they were setting up a reenactment of what they believed what was happening during that time. But with the pictures that got posted online, other people took and started taking those photos, and of course sharing them as like, "Hey, look at what I got a picture of," you know, blah blah blah, and they were claiming it as their own and trying to say it was real. So, yeah, and I've seen it multiple times, and I commented, and then I got tired of commenting because I've seen so much of it, and I was trying to tell them, I said, it's just part of a reenactment scene. It's not a real Bigfoot, you know. So, yeah, a lot of people take stuff like that and
they were trying
crazy with it.
Posting, I guess, Daniel, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, they were basically hoaxing, claiming it was their photo, and they captured this photo, blah blah blah. So, and of course, a lot of people like to use what's the other guy that does a lot of Bigfoot films, Nikki, that we talked about before? He uses the same Bigfoot in all his videos.
Mark Anders.
Yeah, him. He's another one people like to share. That gets out of control sometimes.
Crap. Yeah. Do not believe Mark Anders, okay? He's a CGI specialist, and he has a Bigfoot that he takes around and he puts it all over, and then he can manipulate it with his software because that's what he does. He had a complete website and everything where you could go and get videos of any animal, and he could animate it and make it look like it was talking and walking and everything.
Wow.
I'm trying to look at.
Yeah, Matt Hooper said, I dropped the Sierra Sounds into the. Yeah, Matt Hooper, he analyzes sound. He's got equipment where he analyzes. He can do that. That's part of his hobby. And any kind of audio people like to share with him, he'll do what he can with it. And but he mentioned right here that as far as the Sierra Sounds, he dropped it into the spectrogram just out of curiosity. He said it was weird. He said, I need to revisit and compare the frequencies. Well, here's a side note too. Scott Nelson overheard the sounds that originated from the Sierra Sounds. That his son was doing something. His son was doing some kind of school project, and that's where Scott Nelson got involved. For those who know who Scott Nelson is, he studies. He's a retired Navy bilingualist, whatever you call it, where he studies the different sounds and languages. And he did a study on it. It's online. It's public. You can look up Google Scott Nelson Bigfoot talk or Bigfoot sounds or whatever. And he did an analysis, and what he came up with, he says this is some form of language, but not known to humans or mankind. So, and he broke it down. There was actually still there were syllables, you know. So I found that very interesting that he came up with that there were syllables involved, but it wasn't a known language. It was something of their own. He said it was definitely real, you know, but
Yeah.
so
Yeah, and you can find a lot of interviews with him online. You know, from different podcasts or shows like Coast to Coast, where he talks about that in depth. So yeah, it's not just something you can read. You can actually listen to Scott talk about this in depth on interviews. So yeah, if you go, Scott Nelson, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yep, Scott Nelson. I found that very fascinating.
Yeah.
So yeah, Enigma said he heard the interview with him and Ron. So
Yeah.
pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I think that was on Coast to Coast. Yeah.
Barry said something. He was speaking to you, Pat. I'll post it up here.
Mm-hmm.
He says, speaking of campsites, Pat, remember the guy Wes had on repeatedly from Texas about the destroyed campsite and government harassing him?
Yeah, I do.
I'm not familiar with. I guess it's.
I do. I remember that.
Nikki or Baltimore.
What was that?
I've never heard of anything like that about any campsites being destroyed.
Well, I know of a story.
He didn't mention no.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know who. He's talking about Garrett. Garrett, the guy who was there in Texas, who had the. He posted the whole campsite that was completely destroyed and everything. And then he was offering Bigfoot expeditions and taking like large sum of money for that.
Wow.
And then something happened.
Right.
And the people went and weren't satisfied or something, and they wanted their money back, and it went to court from what I heard.
Wow.
The whole thing went to court. And he's not but then there's stories that the FBI or somebody Men in Black showed up, and that has a very in-depth story. So I can't remember. I knew about it 5 years ago, but I can't remember all the details now.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Hey, does everybody remember? I'm sorry to interrupt you. Does everybody remember Mrs. Cleo?
No.
She was a psychic. She used to say, "Hello, my name is Mrs. Cleo."
Oh,
yeah. Hey, imagine Mrs. Cleo saying, hey, imagine Mrs. Cleo saying, I see a Bigfoot in your family.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay.
Yeah.
Big Thicket. Yeah.
Yeah, the Big Thicket. Yeah, Bob Garrett.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I heard a story where there's a black lady down in Houston, pretty close to a river out there, actually saw a Bigfoot eating a snake in her backyard, and so she called the authorities.
Really?
She called all these people, stating that she actually saw Bigfoot eating the snake, and they didn't believe her that there was actually a snake still that the Bigfoot ate in back of her yard. And then all of a sudden, these some people from the government went out there and bagged the snake and told her not to tell that story again. So, I heard stories like that. So, but again, nobody has ever came to me and telling me to stop doing what I'm doing. So,
those stories are actually few and far between. Of the Men in Black showing up,
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of those Men in Black stories from the Washington area when the volcano went, right?
Oh, Mount St. Helens eruption.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I would like to know a lot of details about that because I know there was rumors of the helicopters flying bodies out, stuff like that during the
Right.
fire out of the burnt forest and stuff, and I know that's the only thing I really know about that, though, as far as hearing that, but that's the big question behind that is was that real? Did that really happen? I mean, all I can say is very likely.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. I mean, it could have well happened, but so
But we'll never know.
But yeah, what Nikki's sister was asking.
They
Nikki's
could be.
sister's asking, could they referring to Bigfoot, could they be an ancestor in past lives maybe? And it's a very good possibility. They could have been. They originated somewhere. That's for sure.
Has anybody seen
see.
Daryl?
Yes, I love Daryl.
Me too.
Yeah.
Love Daryl. He's so sad.
I feel bad for Daryl.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. He's not a Bigfoot. His name's not Bigfoot. His name's Daryl. Remember that.
Yep.
Did you see my Bigfoot shoes? Did you like my new Bigfoot shoes?
Yeah.
Hey, those are cool.
Yeah, and I found it hilarious that you opened them up outside and threw the package away outside and didn't bring it in your house because they were made in China. Oh shit! Where'd she go? Anyway, yeah, Nikki's sister said, "I'm pretty sure I was a Squatch in one of my many, many lies. I'm an old soul." So, she's gonna do show and tell.
I do.
Hold on, Nikki. I'm gonna click on your picture to enlarge you here.
Whoa.
Hold on.
Oh, that's cool.
Give me a second.
Nice.
Yeah, hold on. I'm giving you a solo layup. There we go.
I love them.
That's nice.
I haven't worn them yet because I was saving them up for the conference, and now I don't know if I'll get to use them for the conference.
Bring them up. I know you wear them on the coal road.
Break them in on the coal road. Maybe.
Nikki, I got you on a solo layout, so the show is yours. Take it away.
So is mine. Now we're going to talk about the paranormal.
Let's do it. Let's talk about
No, that's another time.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I could talk about paranormal. Let me tell you.
Yeah, but what my sister thinks
let
they
me ask you
are
this.
completely different. What you think? What?
Let me ask you this, Nikki. It says let's tie those things together. Do you think that that Bigfoot can actually, humans could actually see like ghosts and spirits out there on the creek beds and stuff like that type deal? But I wonder if Bigfoot could actually had encounters with the paranormal.
Yeah, I think so. I think if you're open to it, you can. I think, what is that? I think my cat just scared the crap out of me right now. I think you have to be open to have more encounters, let's say, with the paranormal. The more you open yourself to the idea that it's real, the more it could happen.
Yep. And that's why you shouldn't do it.
And, and I'm kind of like in that spot. I don't want to, but then I do. And then there's people like my sister who it just happens to. She can't turn it off. It just happens. So she's dealing with it. And it's because of her experiences that have made me start to change. Otherwise, I was not that side of the fence, believing. I believed in some paranormal stuff, but until something happens to you and it happened because it happened to you, it's just like Bigfoot. you know, once I see a Bigfoot in front of my face, then I'm going to be okay. I'm good. You know, I'm probably going to be one of those that, okay, I've done it, seen it. Don't need to be out here no more looking for it or whatever. So,
Yeah.
um,
Well, a lot
I
of
just
people,
want to see it with my own eyes. I just want to do that.
a lot of people that see them actually become very drawn to them. I think there's mostly people who never thought about them, right? So just your average person that never thought about Bigfoot, never thought it was real, and they see one, it seems to affect them in a psychological way where they kind of want to go chasing after it. You know, they want to.
They get obsessed with it. It's
Yeah,
on their mind constantly.
they probably need answers. I guess they feel like they could get answers if they saw it again. They'd be more prepared somehow, and they probably would be. They're not going to get answers, but they'll be more prepared to see it. So it is a strange phenomenon, which is almost the reverse of the paranormal. Like, it's like when people see a Bigfoot and they go, "Oh my God, those things are freaking real." They obsess the rest of their life trying to chase it and seek it out.
Yeah, you either have the people who get obsessed or the people who don't ever want to see it again. They don't go out into the woods. They completely isolate themselves. They they change their whole lifestyle. You know, I've heard fishermen who go out fishing all the time completely stop. Hunters completely give up hunting, get rid of their guns. You know, they have it had the completely opposite effect for them.
Yeah, you're right. It can have the opposite effect too.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think when I saw mine, it did something to me, and it affected me quite a bit. It's like I wouldn't be afraid to go and get my during deer season, get my rifle and sit out there at 5 o'clock in the morning when it's dark, get in position, get behind a land blind that you actually made out of brush and stay in there for until sunlight. And then all of a sudden, when I saw mine, then it started to really affect me because I knew real well that, hey, I know that these creatures are real. And then what happens if I end up finding one, seeing one again? And the little sounds that you hear and everything like that, real deer, very much the deer and armadillo or whatever. And the very first thing that comes to your head is, oh man, here's one coming. And sometimes it makes deer hunting kind of uncomfortable. And that's why there are times when I'm a type of person that I always hunted by myself. And now there's some times that I have to bring somebody with me just to, ease the mind a little bit. And I never thought that a person like myself would ever fall into that category. But I'm just him. So again, it's more or less like it gives the respect of the nature just a little bit extra boost, saying very well that, hey, you know what? Even though that there's deer, javelinas, wild pigs, whatever out there, but there is something special out there that nobody knows about or nobody's ever seen before.
Not me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. I won't camp alone. I won't do it. I just refuse to. I don't feel safe knowing that I know what potentially could be out there. It's not that I see a Bigfoot behind every tree. I just know that just like bear could show up. These things could show up. So I don't want to be out there in the remote wilderness by myself. To fend for myself against something that I know there's no way I could defend myself against properly. I mean, maybe if it was one-on-one, but it's not good to assume you're in a 1v1 situation with the Bigfoot. You always have to assume there's more. Yeah. So I don't want the harassment or the fear or the just the annoyance even of them by myself. I want other human beings me. So I do not camp alone anymore. And that's sad. Like, that's sad. It's changed my life, you know, just because of my acknowledgement of that the phenomenon is real. That's it.
Well, yeah, I think it's definitely changed me too. Anytime we're driving through or going through any woody area that I think could possibly, you know, have them there, or I know that, you know, 3 miles north of me, there's definite tribes or families up there, because I've been in contact with people who have seen them there consistently. You know, you know, my eyes do not leave the side looking. It's like it grabs me. And I don't know if I want that forever. I just want the one time to happen. I mean, I don't get out there enough for it to happen. And that's my own fault, because it's my life right now that's stopping me. But there's going to be a time where I can get out there more, where I don't have my kids and I don't have my other responsibilities, that I can just pick up and go when I want to go. But now, you know, is the time that I feed off of everybody else, you know, and it's created me this armchair researcher, is what everybody says. But I don't consider myself a researcher at all.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just an investigator. I'm just a searcher of what everybody else is kind of doing. So
Hey, I have a question. Does the Bigfoot,
real quick.
does the
go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Does the Bigfoot get a stimulus check?
No.
Oh Lord.
Bobcat,
real quick,
only you.
Enigma comment. Yeah, I know, right? Bobcat and his silly questions. But yeah, Enigma was mentioning that not all the comments are showing up.
Oh.
Yeah, because see, a lot of people don't know because they if you're on YouTube, you're only going to see YouTube comments. We're multi-streaming. We're also live on Facebook through a Facebook platform. So
yeah.
So we got on my end, we have YouTube and Facebook showing up. So that's why if I post a comment up there and they don't see it on their end, if they're viewing from YouTube, that's why. So I just want to specify that because we got new people on here. So yeah. But and for those who are viewing on YouTube, if you guys are new to the channel, thank you for subscribing, because I've been getting a lot more subscribers recently, which is cool. So definitely feel free to share the YouTube channel around and check out my archive videos. There is other past podcasts on there. There's field videos. Check them out. So yeah, I just want to clarify that real quick. And we've been on a little over 2 hours, and I think we're going to start coming to a close here very soon. And before we do that, I want to go across the panel and give everybody an opportunity to share anything they want to talk about or promote. There's a couple things we didn't get to, which we'll save that for another time. I think we had a very interesting discussion tonight. It went in a lot of different directions, and we covered quite a bit. And we've had some great interaction from the viewers. So, but looking up on my end from top left to from left to right, I'm gonna start with Bobcat. Bobcat Wong, do you have anything you want to share or throw out there?
Yeah. To your listeners, to anybody that may be watching this, we're going through a tough time in this nation. And if I can add something to be positive, we as a nation, we're going to come out of this. Like I explained to my mom, this earth has always had viruses. Whether or not there's evidence of this being leaked, we don't know that, so let's not assume that. But let's say this earth has always made it through trials and tribulations. So we're going to come out of this stronger. It's something that we're going to have to learn from. If we have to wear masks for a while, so be it. If we have to keep our distance from certain people. It's something we have to do. But I really think that this is the time that we should do a lot of more of a soul searching, because this is there's so many people passing away from this. It is serious. It is serious, and it should be taken seriously. But we're gonna come out of this. Just stay strong, stay positive. That's the word. I end at that.
Well, that's very good information. Very good information. So, Nikki, what about you?
Well, it was a great discussion, and I'd like to remind everybody that my sister and I will be starting up our Sister Side chat again, probably this Sunday. I'll be sending out more information on that pretty soon, very soon. We haven't discussed if we were going to start up right now or change the time, the date that we're going to be doing it. But usually we're going to be starting at, was it 9 p.m., sister? I can't remember if we decided to go with the later chat. I know on Sunday nights that's harder to do because a lot of people go to, That's harder.
Yeah,
for
I was gonna say 9 p.m. on your end because
yeah. And we're mountain,
right?
We're in mountain time, so we're gonna discuss that some more and see if maybe we'll do it earlier for all the East Coast people who are following us, because that is a little late on a Sunday night. But you can find us on YouTube channel Sister Side Chat, and we have a group page, and come and join us. You can also find me on my Bigfoot page group called Bigfoot Weekly, and we have a lot of good discussions and good people on there. It's been such a great group that we've got in there, so you're welcome to come find me there. That's it.
Awesome. All right, Valdemar, what do you got?
What do I got? I've been playing with a lot of herbs here lately, and a lot of purple sage and a lot of other old remedies and stuff like that I was playing with, and then so I got quite a big collection. Dealing with this coronavirus, I know there's a lot of people scared right now and stuff, and it gets me a little bit worried. Because of us stuff being open pretty quickly and everything like that. And a lot of people are really still not taking this virus very seriously. I come up there and I wash my hands like 13 times a day, and because of my work and everything like that, gloves are on, and masks are on, and I don't leave anywhere without it. And we have to be safe about it. And we have to make sure, that we have to be real careful that we don't spread it with our loved ones. Even if we feel sick, go see a doctor, or, have your temperature checked, or if you feel any symptoms at all, just stay away from people. Because people right now are just not taking this stuff very seriously. So that's one thing that they have to, wash your hands. I even made my own sanitizer today with 190 proof alcohol and some aloe vera, and I made my own stuff because I was running real low on the hand sanitizer. We have to do, we just have to do everything in order for us to survive. Because the thing is, again, we just can't be stupid about it. We just have to think about it. We have to think about our neighbors. We have to think about our families and ourselves. And second, there's actually been a juvenile Bigfoot walking around down Normanna that's standing like around 5 foot tall, and has been looking in people's windows and stuff like that at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I've actually saw something that really, I don't know exactly what I saw, but I actually saw something going on 4 legs, and I was real late for work. And then after that, I couldn't see it anymore. And then so it looked something like a bear, but skinnier. And so I just I asked the landowner for him to check it out. He went over there and didn't see anything. So there's definitely a small juvenile going around my area. So we're just trying to check if we could leave some evidence behind, like that we could actually prove it that he's actually been there. But again, Every Bigfoot researcher knows the hardest thing to do is finding proof and evidence that Bigfoot's really around. People can see it, but if the proof ain't there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, real quick, one thing. I think one thing that could people could take as a precaution, because one of the things they say, one of the first symptoms somebody will experience with the coronavirus is the sore throat. And of course, this time of year, because of allergies and everything else, people tend to get the possibly, if you get allergies real bad, sometimes you'll experience a scratchy or slightly sore throat. But the sore throat is also part of the symptoms from the coronavirus. And one of the recommendations to eliminate that, if that sore throat is the beginning of the coronavirus, you could eliminate that. You could kill it right then. They say attack it in the while it's in the throat by drinking warm fluids. And when you drink warm fluids, it washes it down to the into the stomach, where the acids kill it. That way, it'll eliminate it from getting and spreading down into your lungs. They also recommend drinking so many warm fluids so many times a day, and it will help any kind of, if any bit of the bacteria of the virus gets into your throat, it'll keep it washed away. So that's something I've been doing. I've been drinking my teas and they say coffee, anything warm, it will work. Water, but yeah, I drink my teas and coffees, and but of course I drink a lot of cold fluids as well. But yeah, stay on top of drinking warm fluids. Like I said, the virus will start in your throat, from what they explained. And again, you could kill it by letting it wash down into your stomach. So, Pat, what you got going on?
Well,
or whatever you want to share.
just share a couple of things real quick, and they're actually quite contradictory. But first, I want to plug my buddy Shane Carpenter, his documentary that just dropped on Amazon Prime called Into the 400, where he does have a legitimate hotspot, where he did a lot of he documentation and created a documentary series for the Bigfoot world, and it's good stuff. Like, there's a lot of good stuff there. Like, he worked very hard on it, so that's why I'm promoting it. He worked hard, made it happen, and it came out great. So Into the 400 on Amazon Prime, check it out. It's good stuff. If you're in the Bigfoot world, you'll love it for sure. And again, he's not a hoaxer or anything like that. I mean, no. He's a legitimate dude, But I'll say this, like, boots on the ground just isn't going to move the ball down the field. It's clear to me that this species, or whatever they are, they way outclass us. So you're not going to trick them into revealing themselves. I mean, we have the Patterson-Gimlin film, which is 50 plus years old now, and that's the best we have. And in that time, we've tried to go out and get footage. Even now with modern technology, we can't get anything even that good. So I'm going to put a thermal commercial grade drone in the air and find these things and get real footage of them. And the people factor has to be gone. You just have to go look for them from the air. That's how they should have been observed 30 years ago, as far as I'm concerned. They can only be observed from the air. That's my opinion. That's my whole thing. So that's what I have to say tonight to all the Bigfoot people watching. If you want answers, they're only going to come from the air, or if somebody kills one and drags the body into town successfully. So that's what I have to say. The boots on the ground stuff. And I know, Daniel, you go out and you do stuff, and that's great. Like, I'm not saying that's not the right thing to do, but as far as, like, getting real good observations, they need to be observed from the air systematically with advanced technology, and no one's doing that. I'm going to do that next winter when the canopy drops. and you guys will see, man. I'll bring you some awesome footage.
And by the way, I love your
Oh yeah,
dog,
most
Pat.
definitely. Don't get me wrong.
Thank you.
And I want to send a big shout out to my brother Shane. My brother Shane is watching this, and my cousin Ray. Hey guys, peace.
Huh, very cool. There was something. I forgot what I was going to add in there, but closing this up, I want to give everybody another reminder, like what we did in the beginning of this. As I have streaming across the bottom here, check out the website. Visit, enter the website into your browser. Down South Clothing Company, and visit their Gone Squatching collection, and you can get 10%. You can save 10% on by using the word VA pre-sale. It's all one word, Virginia pre-sale, and you can save 10%. And so check that out. Visit their Gone Squatching collection, and and share it around if you like. And if you haven't done so, give this live stream a like, share it around. And if you're on YouTube, if you're new just to view, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe and make sure you click that little bell icon. And tune in if this Sunday, if Nikki has her podcast, check that out. Her and the sister do a great show. It's a fun time. And again, that's on YouTube channel Sister Side Chat. So. And she'll be posting, if they do go live this Sunday, they'll post a time and date, all that good stuff. So,
yeah, usually
and
Daniel lets me post
guys, I think that's about it.
All right, guys.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So
great show.
All right, well,
Great
you guys
show.
have a good night. And yeah, I really enjoyed tonight. We had a good conversation, good discussion. So, and we did not attack nobody. So, woohoo! But we'll have to change things next time. So, all right, guys. You guys have a good one.
Peace.
Have a good
everybody.
weekend.
Good night,
Night.
All right, all right.
Till next time.